Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution. Ay, Bitcoin is the one, no substitution. Ay, with Shizzy and your Gobi, it's Ordinal revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live for another Ordinal hour. We got so many great topics, so much great stuff to go over. We're going to start with the king and end up with some rune strategies. So if you guys stick to the end, you can figure out exactly what me and Yagobi are thinking for our rune strategies. That is you do not want to miss that, because everyone needs to have a strategy going into this. Let's not be slacking on our rune strategy. So we're really gonna cover that. But we have so much to talk about. We're gonna get right into it. So we bring in my partner, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What is up? Good morning, man.
Come on, GM.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. How's your day so far?
Pretty good. Bitcoin's looking pretty decent. We didn't hit that 69,000 target that you mentioned, but we, pretty close. Yeah. I think close enough. I think the biggest part was the rebound, right? That we were expecting, and we definitely saw that. So
yeah, I think we hit 678, right? I think that was the high of yesterday. That was, I was calling that at around 61,000, maybe closer to 62, and I just feel like, I'm going to say it, nobody is bullish enough. Everyone is, if you're even a little bearish right now, even a tiny bit bearish, you are wrong. You are wrong. You are wrong. You are not bullish enough. I'm not even bullish enough for what's about to happen in the next 500 days.
Yeah, and that's really crazy to think, because I'm trying to think, like, how bullish do you have to be if you're not bullish enough?
More.
Can I have some more, sir? Please, some more.
More.
Yeah.
How much bullish do you want me to be? More bullish.
I can't pull over any further. I'm already pulled over. One of my favorite movies, Super Troopers. For y'all that didn't get that, but I definitely feel like this pullback, we talked about this before, it was needed, and we'll see if we keep on marching forward here. But you want to start off with the king like we always do? Does that sound good?
Bring them out.
Let's do it. All right, so back to the hour chart, guys, and we're sitting right at 66,725. Looks like we're jumping right into some sell pressure. You can see here the MACD on the hourly chart. You see about like 8, strong MACD sell candles here. So we'll see whenever that lets up. We have been kind of hanging out down here in the oversold territory for a bit. We also yesterday kind of hung out in the overbought for a while. So we'll see how long this will be. Hanging out down here. If it does last a while, we may just be ranging from like 65 to 68, depending on what this looks like. But one thing I wanted to talk about was, there's a trend right now going around with a lot of these people that are into TA, or just like really mathematic experts, or like PhDs in math. Like Fred Krueger is definitely one. And it's called the Bitcoin power law, right? So that is something that people are kind of using as like a theory right now. And it's very similar to the rainbow chart, right? The only difference is there's no curvature to this. It's pretty much a straight line that goes through the Bitcoin price. And a lot of, mathematicians and scientists and stuff, they use this for like metabolic rates for like animals and weights and sizes and just different data points, right? And so I'm still learning about it, because there is definitely like a lot of math to it. You can see like the exponents over here on the left side with, working with the Bitcoin price. But one person that is, pretty proficient at it is Fred Krueger. And you can see here, he says the power law overshoots to 2+ standard deviations in good years, 4x trend line, but is confined to 1 standard deviation on the downside. That puts 2024 possibility target at 240,000 max. And he says, sorry, $1 million Bitcoin this year, crew. Basically, saying that, if this theory plays out with the power law, we're looking at a max of 240K. How do you feel on that?
Not bullish enough. Not bullish enough. I just don't think that he's factoring in like it's mathematics, right? But you're not factoring in real world issues like the Fed having potential 5 rate cuts, like being a presidential election year where the actual sitting president is the underdog. All right, so stimulus hasn't really hit for a while, right? And then there's just so many factors that you have to factor in. Like you can't just say mathematic rules all, because yes, it does, but Bitcoin has been known to destroy all patterns, all mathematical issues, except for the stock to flow, which was a little under the last time, but I feel like that was manipulated down on purpose.
Yeah. Well, the rainbow chart's been pretty consistent, right? It's been pretty consistent, I would say, for the most part, right? So that's another
Yeah.
chart that has been pretty reliable, I'll say. But like kind of going back here, you can see like Fred is where did I see that? Math PhD from Stanford. So he
Yeah.
definitely has, that expertise in the field. But you're right, a lot of times, these mathematical equations in charts and stuff, they don't account for real world issues or just
Yep.
manipulation and stuff like that,
Yep.
right? But they are good to have so you can kind of use, because a lot of times they will, pan out in some sort of way, and eventually they might fall off a little bit here and there and they just get back on the saddle. But I think 240,000 is a really good price point to end 2024. Heading into 2025, if we get to maybe like 354 at that point, I think people would be pretty happy with Bitcoin being at 240 by like December 31st.
Not bullish enough. Not bullish enough. It's not bullish enough. There's never been, I stress on this because it's so important. There's never been a time in history where the sitting president was the underdog. It's never happened before. And he has all the power in the world to manipulate markets upwards. And if he manipulates the stock market, because he don't give a rat's ass about the Bitcoin markets, but if he manipulates the Dow, manipulates the S&P, Bitcoin's going to follow and go rapidly past it. And the Fed has 5 bullets in the chamber. Like, I get the mathematics. And I do see us going way past it, but then falling back in line with his chart. I'm not saying his chart is wrong. I'm just saying that it's just not bullish enough to the factors of macro. And macro was so important in the bear market. And I think macro, again, is going to be so important in the bull market.
Well, macro doesn't look great right now, right?
Well, if it could, if let's just say Ukraine, like Trump gets in, Ukraine, just stops, and then Russia takes a part of Ukraine. Boom, that is amazing for markets. War is over, right? Trump comes in, tells Israel, we're going to stop giving you money. They stop going hard on Hamas because they use their own money now, right? So another war is ended. Both are really good for macro.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm just talking about like I thought you were meaning more towards like putting more stimulus out there, because that's just putting a band-aid on a huge wound, right? And I think it would work. It would work. It would definitely inflate the markets and stuff like that, but it just wouldn't be a true good macro fix, because that's actually why we're dealing with what we're dealing with right now, right?
Yeah.
Is because of the COVID times. But again, you got to kind of handle the situation and play with the cards you're dealt. And I think that's where we are right now. It's definitely going to be interesting to see, how Bitcoin reacts. And again, too, like the Bitcoin is changing in terms of perception of the world too. A lot of people are saying that, these institutions are actually looking at it as like a hedge in a sense, if like, the monetary system collapses any further, right? And there isn't any like rescuing of it. Being in Bitcoin is probably in my opinion, like one of the best places to be for large institutions to have. Of course, like gold and stuff like that is also, a safe play. Yeah. But it's going to be interesting to see if this power law ends up working out, because here's another thing. If it does work out, guess what? Everybody's gonna be like, the power law. That's it happens every time when there's a new model in there, and it ends up doing well, like the rainbow chart, stock to flow, all these different charts, and they only have to work for like a certain period of time, and the people behind them, whoever called it out, man, they're going to inflate that like by a million and be like, I told you so, this works perfect. Nothing one thing that we realize in this life is that nothing is going to work every single time, right? So
I think Larry Fink wants most of the Bitcoin. I truly believe it. I think that he's buying up all the grayscale Bitcoin, right? Every time grayscale dumps, BlackRock flies up. And I'm not saying it's BlackRock in general, but it's the people who have their money in BlackRock. BlackRock is buying for them, correct? Right. So like the Rothschilds, they're all in the BlackRock. That you need an insane amount of money to even be able to join the BlackRock fund, right? So
yeah,
obviously you can buy it on the stock market as well, but they're buying internally for their clients, right? They're buying for the clients. And they're using the ETF to do so. I think when we hit that 300,000 number, every influencer is going to say, "This is it, guys. It's over. We're selling." And then BlackRock is going to buy up everyone's Bitcoin and then take it way higher. Then everyone's going to be on a sideline and have to buy in higher because they messed up. And
yeah.
I am not willing to sit on the sidelines and do that. I'd rather take the plunge with Bitcoin and then come back up 4 years later than sit there on the sidelines and sell my Bitcoin 300K.
Yeah, so I think there's two perspectives from me like on this, right? Like so one of them is this is the last cycle for like people to get normal everyday people, construction
Yep.
workers, janitors that save up their money and they put it
Machinists.
into
Yeah.
yeah, that can really get into this generational wealth of like changing that curse in their family, right? And then
Yep.
but the second part isn't so pretty. It's like you have like BlackRock's, Larry Fink, and all these
Yeah.
institutions that are really just wanting control over the market, and that you're not going to see that right away. You probably see roses and all these things, and basically, you'll see like it looks great for like the next 2 years, and then like 4 years, 6 years, 8 years down the line, next thing you know, like no one can get Bitcoin, and if you didn't get it before, right? Or people are just getting like 0.05 and they feel lucky to get that much or whatever, they feel like they're in a good spot, and it's
Yeah.
because like the institutions have it, and then now they control the price, right? We've seen what happens whenever like centralized exchanges and people that had the power initially control the price. There's a heavy manipulation can happen, because as much as you say you're not bullish enough, I think there's a point to where it says that you're too greedy. You know what I mean? There's like two sides of it. I mean, you can't really argue that like there's a point when someone's too greedy. You know what I'm saying? In life, in history, it's been hit on every single part of every powerful empire, right? Like greed is really what turned them around. Any monetary policy or anything like that has been crushed because of greed. Because when inflation happens, what happens? You talk about the British pound. What happened? They were the previous world currency before the dollar. Whenever they got into wars and they owed a lot of money to the Red Shield, we'll get into like all that stuff on another episode, but they ended up having to pay back that money. And what did they do? They printed more money. And the same thing happened to the Dutch. Before the pound, the Dutch had the previous world currency, and they also created more currency. And every time that happens, and you do it over and over and over, and there's not an answer to like back that up, it collapses, right? And so obviously right now that's where the US is, and Bitcoin can possibly like replace that, but they have to all agree with that, you know what I mean? And I think that's where things can get like really choppy for the next 20 years.
You just kind of proved my point though, because you said all these countries are printing money and destroying their currencies and stuff, and there's only one hard money. There's only one money that you can look at and say that is that, and that's what it ever will be. You can find more gold, you can find more silver, you can never find more Bitcoin unless Satoshi wakes up, right? So that's like the only thing. And so to your point there, Michael Saylor is the greediest person in the world with Bitcoin, right? He doesn't care what the top is. He don't care what the top is, what the bottom is. He just buys. And for me, the only thing I'm greedy with is Bitcoin. I'm not going out there. Let's just say we hit 300K. I'm not going to be the guy out there going fucking double long on things like that. No, that's not me. I'm going to start placing all my assets into the safest thing in the world. I'm never selling my Bitcoin. I'm never selling into dollars. So to me, I don't care what anything else does. But I'm going to start selling, anything else I have. Let's say my Merlin or my Merlin swap or whatever. That'll eventually go all into Bitcoin around where everyone else is selling their Bitcoin.
Yeah, I love that like fantasy story and everything, because like it's the great it's the right thing to do, but like you have to realize like what world we live in right now. Like you're not going to be able to go to your Wawa or 7-Eleven and be like, hey, you guys
I
take
can.
Bitcoin right
I
now.
can because of the
You can
Cash
pay with
App.
your Bitcoin right now.
Yeah, with Cash App, I can put the Bitcoin in the Cash App, and I can sell if like I'm at the cash register, I can sell it in 10 seconds to cash, and then
So
spend
you're
when I need to
still,
spend.
but you're selling it to dollars though.
But
That's my
you're
point.
doing that on every but it was Bitcoin. I'm just doing a quick swap for them, but then I'm going back to Bitcoin. And
Yeah.
if I
So
sell something, I'm going back to Bitcoin. My paycheck back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin until the last second is what I'm trying to
okay.
say.
So I think that could work if the world comes on board, because not everybody's going to accept the Cash App. Not everybody's going to accept everything. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, your
But
Cash App has a
eventually,
debit card. I swipe it just like I swipe a credit card.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah. If they taken directly out of your Bitcoin, then
Yeah.
that probably is
Well,
a
it's
good
not
plan.
directly. I have to do one little step first, and I got to sell $10 worth. But then 9 seconds later, it's getting swiped out anyway. So it's just me doing a step that they would have to do anyway.
Manually doing it before.
So it's the
Yeah.
same thing. If I buy a hoagie, I can technically buy it in Bitcoin. I got to do that one step right before to make sure I have enough cash in there.
Yeah. I mean, and then so that's kind of what I do too right now. Like I actually do that before, like I have, I want to spend like a couple $100 for like the next like week, right?
Exactly.
But I will say that I just if you're gonna buy a house and stuff like that, we still live in a fiat world right now.
I
You know
will
what I
never
mean?
buy a house.
We still live in a fiat world right now,
Yeah.
and so I think that like the goal is to stack as much Bitcoin as you can possibly, but also live, right? You got to live, and I think that
But
like living is that's the part where people kind of get a little bit lost right now.
well, that's my plan though. Like my plan is to once I sell my house that I'm in now, I'm gonna live in Airbnbs the rest of my life, and I'm just gonna keep stacking my Bitcoin. I don't want to own property because I don't want to pay property tax. I don't want to pay that. I don't. My Bitcoin's gonna go way up more than any property that will ever exist. Property takes 10 years to double. Bitcoin doubles every 2.5 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So even when it skyrockets up, I'd still rather have Bitcoin than have property, and I'd rather live comfortably in a nice Airbnb where I don't own anything in there. Only thing I want to own for the rest of my life is Bitcoin. I don't want to own a car. I don't want to own a house. I just want to own Bitcoin, and I want to drive, get in Ubers so I can still tweet on my phone. And I want them Airbnbs where someone comes in and cleans up after me when I'm done.
yeah.
That's my personal lifestyle.
So your yearly Airbnb has to be less than what your property tax would be on a yearly basis, and
But I
then
can live anywhere
also
in the world
yeah. And
every month.
also you're basically falling right into like the WEF's statement to where you will own nothing and be happy.
But that's not true because I'll own
Except for
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Yeah, except for Bitcoin. So I don't know. We'll see. Interesting conversation,
I love this. I
nevertheless.
love talking
Yeah,
about this,
interesting
dude.
conversation, nevertheless. For
I
me,
love the back and forth. It was so good.
yeah, for me, I feel like there's definitely like a certain amount of Bitcoin I want to stack, especially this during the cycle, right? And I want to continue to add to that, but I want to make sure I take care of all of my legal, obligations and stuff to get to zero debt. So that's just me maybe thinking about like where I am right now. So
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
awesome.
every strategy is a good strategy.
Well, I don't agree with that.
I like mine. You don't
Every
like my
strategy.
strategy?
No, I'm saying I don't think every strategy is a good strategy.
Well,
you know,
in theory, I mean, because you just don't know. You just don't know. You know what I mean?
well,
Like my strategy might be
if
the best. Your strategy might be the best. So,
yeah, we're talking about this. I'm talking about from like a general, perspective.
yeah.
Like, someone like that doesn't know anything about crypto and tries to put together a crap strategy. I'm just joking around with that. But okay,
Yeah.
cool. So let's move on from Bitcoin's price action there. And do we want to do a little roll call? We want to jump into the next topic real quick, and
Let's
then
do
we
a
can
little
do
roll
roll
call.
call.
There's not many people in here. We can knock this out
All
real
right.
quick. First is first. We always love our first guy. Token Jokin, you are the first time for being first. Congratulations. Everyone respect first because he is number one. And then Walk Alone, man. You were two days in a row and just
Slacking.
slacking, bro. Damn, I'm slacking still early though. Very early. We appreciate you being here. Danny Boy, it's my guy right there.
Let's go.
Love Danny. I'm always gonna mess with him because Rocket was number one. Danny was number two. 30 seconds later. But still versus first.
It's like twins, man. Like whenever the twins are like, man, I was born like 3 months after him.
Shout out BitRans. What's up, man? Shout out Mark Can you say that last name? Ippolito.
Ippolito.
Shout out Mark. Shout out PDX. Shout out Anti-Crypto. Mempool fees are hoo. And then we
I love that. I love that.
Let's go Todor. And then we have Chief Axel. And we have Vinny. Shout out Vinny. Green Man. And then Yazir. Hello, guys. What's up, buddy? Then we have USX. TKO again. Tarn Shedded. 342. Tarnished. Okay. Yeah, I can't read. I need ChatGPT. Stimulus is highly likely from government since wage hikes are more sticky than inflation. Very true. We'll come back to your comment here in a second, but this is my favorite comment of all time. Shizzy's right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna screenshot that. I'm gonna put that on my wall because Shizzy is right.
Don't get his head big. Yeah, sure. Don't get his head big.
This is a question we'll come back to later because I think that might be something we want to talk about. Shout out Danny again. Who else? Miss Crypto Dozy. Shout out Dozy. Shout out Crypto Noob. What's up, Crypto Noob? We have Bitmap Gallery.
You missed Patty Poo.
Where? I'm sorry. Where?
Patty Poo. What's up, Patty Poo?
What's up? What's up, Patty Poo? And then USX, and we can continue with the show. I really appreciate all you guys. For some reason, we're not. It doesn't look like we're getting Twitter comments again.
Again?
I don't know, dude.
Well, there was some up there though. That was
no, there was none. Oh, there's one. We're good.
Yeah.
Tarnished. Yeah. Okay, maybe we are. Okay, cool.
Yep. All right, guys. Also, just a reminder: put your questions in the chat. We're gonna address those questions at the end of the show in our after hour, and so we will definitely get to those. Make sure you smash the likes for this live. We're doing this every day, so you guys are supporting us by smashing the likes and subscribe if you're not subscribed, so you can get notifications. For when we're going live or when we have a new recording. All right, so let's jump into a little bit of the Ordinal ecosystem here. There was some pretty big news yesterday about our guy Leonidas. Everybody is loving him. He's the man of the week, of the month. You know,
of the year.
He's the one behind the runestones. If you guys don't know, he's an Ordfluencer that's been in the space since the start, and looks like he made a big mistake, guys. He messed up. He made a big boo-boo here. It says, guys, I effed up. I burned the runestone parent inscription worth 8 Bitcoin. Oh, no. Transaction was already mine, so I can't revert. There's nothing I can do to fix this. I am so sorry. Guys, obviously this is a joke on,
really?
On all the Solana pre-sellers, especially the one, I think it was Slurth that said that he burnt the $10 million pre-sell amount. But guys, this is actually really amazing. So this is the cool part about Bitcoin Ordinals, right? Especially with parent and child inscriptions. So just to kind of give you guys some context here, I actually posted this right underneath it. It's pretty funny. This is from the Sandlot, I think. But forever. Yeah, I put love the proof of parent inscription burning. Supply can never be altered. The provenance of the parent-child collection. Total supply is locked forever. Yep. And so basically what that means is when you do a parent-child collection, right? The parent is the parent inscription, and then you create the child collection underneath it. That gives this child collection the parent inscription provenance over the child collection. But let's say like you release the child collection to Magic Eden, like he did with Runestones, and one day he's like, you know what, I wanna launch another child inscription collection, or I want to add to it. He could do that. He could actually, create more supply by burning the parent inscription. He no longer has control over anything in terms of the child inscription collection. So it's locked with all the details in there. There's nothing you can do. And it's really cool because you get to see it like with the mempool, and you get to see how the parent and child collections work. How do you feel about that? The whole situation with the parent-child.
So the burn wallet, that's Satoshi's wallet, right?
Yeah, that's what he used.
So Satoshi can wake up, and then make more runestones. No, I'm just playing.
Come
If
on.
he wakes up, he's not worried about the runestones. But yeah, I think it's amazing. I think Leonidas is a true definition of what Bitcoin is, and he's one of the few guys in this space. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Did we get something?
We got something.
Hey!
Yo, my Ordi gang bros. When Block Runners on Ordinal Revolution, you guys are legends. Salam.
Namaste. Sadi Yaka. Keep up the good work, guys. We love you. Crypto Sengat.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Crypto
sir.
Sengat, man. Really
Ma'am.
appreciate you so much. And where was I before I was so amazingly interrupted?
No, you were just
Oh
talking
yeah,
about
I was just
Leo.
saying he's one of the few guys in the space who are actually, really keeping things alive. He seems to have really no incentive but to grow Ordinals, period. I mean, I guess that's really enough incentive when you do own probably like a crap ton of low inscriptions, right? So and and he and Ordite.io is definitely his baby, and he wants it to be number one. And yes, I just think it's amazing. Really appreciate people like him and him himself. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we know
really
that Leo's one of those that he's like first of all, he kind of has that historian type of background with NFTs in general. So
yeah.
you knew like whenever like those sub 10K collections were out, he probably was jumping all over that, but we don't know for sure. But yeah, anyways, the thing about this whole situation is it's cool because he's educating people too, right? Obviously, some people freaked out when they read this because they don't understand, how the dynamic works between parent and child inscriptions, which is totally fine, guys. Like you kind of had to be around when parent child was a hot topic
Yeah.
to really like know these things, right? But we're here to educate you. It's like the perfect way to give provenance in the ordinal world is to use parent child, inscription collections.
Yep.
And but by burning that parent, you basically say, hey, look, I'm not going to do anything in terms of affect the project negatively anymore. My hands are washed, and this is the collection from here on out.
100%.
So,
I agree.
Yep. Yeah, I'd like to see more of this kind of stuff, announcements from like big collection founders, like, hey, look, this is what we did for the parent child. I think it will give more credibility to the space, and it will prompt people that are newer to look into it, right? And I'm sure there was people like, what is he talking about? Is this bad? Is this good? Is it, and so hope to see more of that kind of stuff.
But I want to just put something out there because not people really talk about it. Yeah, Leonidas did an amazing job with everything he did, not taking anything from him. But Jeff was the biggest donator to the runestones thing.
Was he the biggest one?
I think he was number one.
Where'd you get that from?
I thought I got it.
No, because
No?
I have the list. No, he was a donator to.
Oh, okay. Man, I was wrong. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. No, number one was Buoyance Finance, I believe that donated that 8 Bitcoin, and then Jeff was like among like I think like maybe 10 others that did 0.15 Bitcoin. So he was a part of the team, that did that.
For some reason, I thought I was wrong. Sorry. Yeah, Leonidas is God's son, Jesus. But
I'm definitely not going there. But
I'm just kidding.
But yeah. So I think it was like definitely like a group effort for the Ordinal community to come together and be able to like the donators and stuff. Man, huge props to you all. To make this happen because that's a lot of Bitcoin. 8 Bitcoin. How much does that equal to right now?
500K.
Yeah,
600K. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a lot of moolah. A lot of dinero. All right. So yeah, parent child for runestones is locked forever. And then let's see. Here's actually this is pretty big news. I'm not sure how you're gonna feel about this, but Sora's Jason Fang came out today and he announced that he got off a call with Xverse, and here I'll just actually show the tweet so
he basically heard Chris's comments from our show, huh?
Maybe people listening. I'll just say that people listening. But Jason Fang from Sora VC here, you can see just got off a call with Xverse. Tap protocol integration is coming, and they've completed key milestones like showing balances for Tap assets. They're also very excited about Real Karma Coin, So the council will work closely with them and bring more alpha to Xverse app community. So, I mean, this is a pretty big announcement. Like he's coming out there and he's putting like Xverse's name into this, into this post. People know Jason Fang because he represents, that whole VC, team with Sora. At least that's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I'm seeing. And it looks that way. But like, I don't know. I think this kind of gives some life injected into the TAP protocol and track if this is true, because Xverse is obviously like, I would say like the number 2 player in terms of wallets. Yep. And how do you feel about this?
Real quick, shout out my man 1 and 2, legend in the space. But so to get on this, I think it's awesome that IMS with Chris came on the show when you were out, and he basically said that they weren't continuing the TAP stuff on Xverse, and apparently that got back to Jason. And what was said on Revolution was brought back to a billionaire, right? Potentially of a billionaire.
Goodness, well, I don't know about that.
Probably, right, dude? Like, I mean,
I'm not gonna throw that term out there. Well, we don't know if he's
okay. Guy who runs a $1 billion fund, right?
So guy that has some sort of role in a $1 billion fund. We don't know if he owns it, but go ahead, continue on.
Well, it got back to him, and he's setting things straight, which is it's pretty cool. And I don't think Chris was wrong or lying or anything like that. I think he seems very sincere. I've never heard him lie to me. Everything he said, he can prove it with facts, and those facts might not be from a reliable source, but I just think that he truly believes from the source that he's got that was real information. It was not false information. And I think that like I said it time and time again, I've always been bullish on TAP, not so much track, because I'm not bullish on Chainlink. I've never been bullish on that type of industry, but TAP, for instance, I've always been bullish on, and I think that
hold on a second, I gotta stop you real quick. Why would you not be bullish on the Oracle? I'm not saying that's what track is right now or anything like that, but you brought up Chainlink, and
it's not the fastest horse. It's not the fastest horse in the race. It's an infrastructure play. If you go back in history, look at Chainlink in the last bull cycle, it didn't do as well as Polkadot. It didn't do as well as Cardano. It didn't do well as any of the DeFi stuff, right? It lagged behind everything.
I think there was a couple of factors with that, and we can, jump into that later on a different show or something. But just to make it short, I think first of all, you can't compare them to like Polkadot. You can't compare them to like those are chains.
No,
right?
I'm not. But that's my entire point. It's an infrastructure play. I'm just saying it's the fastest horse in the race, meaning number go up. Right?
Yeah, but like Uniswap had number go up big time. From where it started. And so my point is, my second one, let me get to, but here, my second one is a lot of people felt like the Chainlink situation was, controlled a lot by their team in terms of price action and stuff like that. Now, the people that got in early on Chainlink, they made off like bandits. You know what I mean? They made off like bandits. If you got in early with Chainlink, for sure, you made off like bandits, because it had its moment where it mooned. It had its moments where it mooned, but it went to like
$40 though, $25. Like,
yeah, but where did it start? Like, if you got in at like 10 cents, that's a huge win. You know,
what I'm saying? Got in at 10 cents though.
Yeah, there's people that got in 10 cents, but they weren't regular public people probably, and maybe if they were, they just got in before like it went big. My point is that like an Oracle is so needed, like you have to have that. You know what I'm saying?
No,
so
I agree. No, I truly believe that infrastructure plays are amazing. Right, they're needed. Track is needed. Track is 100% needed. I truly believe that, but it's not the fastest horse in the race. It's not going to win against anything on Merlin. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I definitely think that there's some like similarities already, like in terms of price, like sluggishness with like track, and kind of like how Chainlink did. But like at the end of the day, if you got in at like 11 cents, kind of like we did initially, right? You're gonna make out like a bandit, in my opinion. In the end,
but I'm just saying, if you held to $3, $4 like I did, and then sell that and to get in the DeFi plays and recycle that money, you're gonna make a lot more. I just don't think there's 100x left in track. There's not a 50x left in track. And track actually the same thing as Chainlink. Chainlink mooned in the bear market, had a crap bull market. Track, it mooned in the bear market, it might have a crap bull market, but that's just my personal opinion. I think track does really well. I think track gets to $25-$30. I just think that you're going to get better X's in other things. That was my entire point. It's not the fastest horse in the race.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think it's the fastest horse in the race as
But
well.
that was my entire point. You know, if I was trying to be safe, I would be in track. But I like my safe plays are Bitcoin. My risky plays are very risky.
Yeah. Nope. I agree with that. I mean, but I just want to show you this chart real quick, and then we'll go on to the next thing. This is Chainlink right here.
Yeah.
So like we're
Bear
talking,
market.
you know, yeah, we're talking right here in 2020, August 2023, right here, and it's like
Yeah.
right here. It's not doing the crazy 100x, but it's done it's done
Then
like a little bit more than 3x.
show a chart of any DeFi project.
Okay, let's see.
Show a chart of any
So
DeFi project.
So you could have got in at like 26 cents back in 2017. So that was another thing. This came out in 2017 too. Like when all those infrastructure plays were happening, like and nothing was working at that time, right? So if you got in during this point, which is very similar to me to like the IDO phase right now, you know what I mean? But like you're going from like 17 cents all the way to like $2, which was 2019. So right before that,
so my point is go bull market. So let's go whatever the price was in August of 2020 when the bull market started.
Well, where was that at? Let's see, August of 2020. So the price was, let's just say right here. So July 3rd, it was $4.74.
So it barely did a 10x.
Uniswap's going to be different though. I'll tell you why.
Uniswap's because they didn't look like a beast.
What also didn't start in 2017 though.
I'm just saying, just look at it from August. That's all I'm saying. Just look at it from August 2020. That's all I'm saying. I'm just looking.
I can't even go to August. I can't even go to August 2020 because like it didn't. It started in September of 2020, which the price was $5.72, and at the tippity top was 43. So actually, Chainlink did better even last cycle.
Uniswap was free. Chainlink didn't have a free.
Yeah, but I mean. That was a bad one to probably use. But anyways, regardless, I think that there's going to be several opportunities. I do agree with you because you're very minded or like your mind definitely gravitates to these. How can I 100x? How can I, huge X, which is good, but it can also mean that like you're throwing like 10 darts at a dartboard and you might hit like,
one.
You might hit like 2-3 of them, that would be really good.
You put $1,000 in something, 100x is 100 grand. You put 10 grand in something, 100x is $1 million. So
yep. Okay, so good. This is good for Tap Protocol. Do you feel like this kind of revives that whole community and stuff? Because the community was kind of disgruntled recently, right? Or
100%. I mean, they had every right to. I mean, they're very quiet right now. I mean, I'm on the outside looking in, so I don't really know what's being said in Discords and things like that. But again, I'm very bullish on Tap. I'm very bullish on Sora Ventures. I'm very bullish on Jason Fang. And I think if Jason says something, I think he's 100% right with the reliable information.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not just Tap that they get involved with. They're a VC and they're going to all these events. So. They're getting into a lot of really, really solid projects, I would imagine. I don't know. I don't see like the behind the scenes stuff with them, but just kind of word out there is that Sora is making their presence. That's for sure.
100%.
So, well, congratulations to the Tap community, to the track community, because this is big news. I still hold some track, not a ton, but like, I think this is bullish for that project. We'll see what happens because the past like month and a half has been a bit disappointing from my perspective, but this could definitely give it a resurgence here.
I agree.
Right. All right, let's go here. This is another part. Have you noticed, guys? I don't think we've hit like Merlin chain not one time really here, and it's because and it's not because like we're trying to avoid it. Actually, it's because all that news yesterday, like during our live, there was so much, and we're still seeing new stuff kind of trickle in. But today's been a little bit about different parts. We've hit Tap. We're about to hit Lamb Swap. So Lamb Swap, they're claiming is the unit. you see that enthusiasm on Shizzy's face when I brought up this topic here, but You can see introduction to LambSwap, Uniswap on Bitcoin's native layer, ? So this is something that is going to be released very soon to the public. And I'm going to pull up their docs because they posted this. So the introduction is pretty much where I'm going to cover, and I won't bore you guys too much. But it says introduction. LambSwap is revolutionizing DeFi on Bitcoin by bringing all the functionality and comforts of your favorite DEX to Bitcoin's layer 1. LambSwap is a decentralized exchange, DEX, and launchpad built on the Bitcoin network, designed to offer users seamless and efficient token swapping capabilities akin to Uniswap on Ethereum. As the most advanced DEX on the Bitcoin blockchain, LambSwap pioneers a new era of decentralized finance by harnessing the security, stability, and widespread adoption of Bitcoin while leveraging innovative technologies to enable decentralized trading. LambSwap's features range from its core functionalities as an automated market maker. Okay, that is something we definitely have not seen on Bitcoin's native layer. And Launchpad to the transformative Ordinal collection and play-to-earn game. Each section of this white paper delves into the intricacies of LambSwap, offering a comprehensive understanding of how we are poised to set new standards in the evolving landscape of decentralized finance and gaming. Okay, I said I wasn't going to bore you, but I want to also kind of see a little bit else what they have here. So Lambda protocol integration. So we've talked about Lambda protocol. We had them on our show. We've seen their TextScript smart contracts. We've messed around, tested the functionality. One of our close friends, and you guys know him, he's an Ordfluencer in the space. Mattyverse is also an advisor for them, and he speaks very highly of them. And so we do trust his word, and we've experienced a little bit of this as well. We just haven't seen it like full on, live. And so I think until then, that's when we can start to build some conviction if we see that it works very well. Really quick. So LRC20 is their token standard, another new token meta protocol standard here. You can see token migration, LambSwap previously basepad. Wow. Did you see that?
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, but okay. Yeah.
So LambSwap previously basepad. So it looks like there's a transition coming here. We'll transition
They posted RIP base swap.
Okay.
Or basepad, sorry.
Gotcha. It says we'll transition from utilizing TAP protocol tokens represented by Based and Boost to LRC20 tokens, Sage and Flock. The evolution marks a strategic move to enhance scalability, efficiency, and interoperability within the LambSwap ecosystem. Wow. And then it goes into like token supply, token burning, token airdrops. Honestly, and that's where I'll kind of leave it here, guys. But honestly, I think this is probably the best move for basepad because, this was their first major project that they launched. I think it was the first one, but they really have strong conviction in how this, decentralized application works, decentralized swap works, and Launchpad, that it looks like they're just switching meta protocols here and just going straight to LRC20. Now, you had a chance, along with me, to kind of mess with these TextScript smart contracts. We know Mattyverse is an advisor on this project, which we respect, highly in the space. What's your take on this?
I just want to clear something up that it was not an evolution. It was a pivot. It was a complete pivot by BaseSwap. BaseSwap was not doing well. Their token was plummeting pretty badly from its high, probably down about 90% from its high. They did have a music thing that they were pushing, and it wasn't really getting much attention. I think the
Superfan
spaces, it had like 11, 12 people in there.
Superfan's actually part of LRC20.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. And I say pivot because they're pivoting away from TAP, and they're going full on LRC20. So that's where the pivot is. There was no evolution there, right? It was a complete pivot. We're leaving TAP. We're going to conduct all our business now on this. We're no longer going to launch projects anymore. We're going to be the project, right? So full pivot. There's no other word. You can call it evolution. There's no evolution there. It was a full pivot, which is smart. And when something's not working, you should definitely do the pivot. I think LambSwap is a good idea. It's something that's definitely needed over there because I put 0.1 over there. just to kind of mess with things. And I can't figure the crap out. They demoed with us and all that, and I'm lost when I'm over there. I just forgot everything. You know, we can look at 5,000 projects. You know what I mean? Like for me to try and remember something that we did 2 months ago is almost impossible. My brain's just not big enough. So I was over there. I couldn't remember this. I couldn't remember that. I didn't know how to mint tokens anymore. It's just I need there needs to be more ease of use. Right? Was what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say.
but okay, so I see where you're coming from. I completely understand that. Do you think that has more to do with like focus though? Because you have to remember like you said, 5,000 projects, right? And so like unless you like are diving into it like daily and until you get it, it becomes second nature, then at that point, like you're not going to know how to use it. You're going to forget like how to use the functionality of things. So
Yeah.
is that necessarily like their fault, or is it kind of like because we got so much in front of us and it has to like wham bam punch you in
Yeah.
the face and be like, oh my god, this is like so innovative, I gotta stay here and I'm not going anywhere else?
No, it's just the ease of use isn't there. Like I'll never forget how to use Uniswap. I'll never forget how to use Magic Eden. I'll never forget how to use any decks ever. I'll never forget how to do anything.
but it's because those were like the main exchanges. There was
I'm just
nothing.
saying there's no decks or anything. That's just my point. There's no decks, there's no nothing. And I'm just saying this solves that problem. And my entire point was that when I'm over there, I don't like to have to remember things. I just want things to be ease of use. I want to go to
Gotcha.
land swap and swap my tokens. I don't want to have to be like, frick, what was that thing I had to do? I don't want that.
Oh yeah,
It's
you're
to
talking about
your
you're talking
point.
about how it was before the swap. Gotcha. 100%
Exactly. But
agree with that.
that's just my whole point. My whole point is that just like you said, I don't want to click a whole bunch of buttons. I want to go there, get what I need to get done, and get the hell out of there and get on to the next thing. I want to be there for a half hour, not 10 minutes to remember, and then a half hour. You know what I mean? I want to get in, I want to go to Lamb Swap, I want to swap my tokens. So my entire point was that it is the most needed thing in that ecosystem. And I'm kind of glad that they did make that pivot.
Gotcha. Yeah, 100%. I was kind of missed understanding that for a
Yeah.
second, but I get what
No
you're
worries.
saying in terms of the swap. Like we got to see what it looks like and how it functions, right? But if
Yeah,
they're
but if it
saying it's
functions like anything like a swap, I
yeah,
mean, all swaps look the same.
yeah,
You'll never forget how to use a swap, even if it's like,
yeah,
even if
and
it's
they
UI is
also
crazy.
and they also mentioned Uniswap, right? So we got to imagine it's going to be something similar to that.
Exactly.
But okay, so a lot of times with these new like meta protocols and claiming to be able to do something, I noticed like both of us are kind of like this, but you
Yeah.
don't really like to waste a lot of time with it, right?
No.
That's for sure. Is it different for this? Are you willing to put some time towards this, like once the swap is out, or are you
I
just
don't
like
have I shouldn't have to. I should go to it and they should make it look like every other swap. I want, it's there's smart contracts over there. It's obviously going to be a fork of Uniswap. Like
Uniswap?
everything's a
Yeah,
fork of Uniswap. It's either going to be a fork of a 1 inch or a fork of Uniswap or a fork
sushi,
of
sushi.
Sushi. Well, Sushi Swap is a fork of Uni.
Okay,
So
yeah.
or it's going
So
to be something like Balancer. So there's really three decks you can use: a 1 inch,
well,
Balancer, or
I think
Uniswap.
Pancake is its own, right? And
It's a
people
fork of
swap.
Uniswap.
Is it
It's a
okay?
fork of Uniswap. Yeah, they're all Uniswap V1s originally. So yeah, the only three really are 1 inch, Uniswap, and Balancer. They're all completely different from each other, and they get forked constantly, right?
Gotcha.
So that's what Beats was, and I'm sure other ones were that the same. So basically, if they use one of these, which are going to, then everything all they gotta do is make the UI kind of match. I can get in there. I can know what everything looks like. There's no reason to go crazy with the UI. And because I mean, why would you do that? Why would you make
Yeah.
something hard to find anyway?
So basically, like it's gonna take you 5-10 minutes to realize, hey, this is something legit or not, and then you either
Yeah,
move on or you're like, okay, I'm in.
that's it. If I go there, I'm going there for a reason. Like I don't go to a swap to take a look. I go to a swap to make a swap. Right. So if
Yeah,
there's something that I'm interested, let's just say somebody's building something over there. Jason Sawyer has a fund and they're building something awesome on land stuff. Whatever. I'm just coming up with a name. I'm like, oh wow, I want that token of that fund. I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna get their native token. I'm gonna swap it in that really quickly and I want to get out. Like I don't want to be there for a half hour. I
yeah,
got too much other things going on.
100%, 100%. I think that's like the fairest take that you can have on it, and I don't think anybody can be mad about that because like you said, like we're constantly busy. We got our own stuff that we're working on,
Yeah.
and so we're constantly getting DM'd about, hey, we got this new innovative blah blah blah. We've had them on the show, so we know what they're capable of in
Yeah.
terms of text script smart contracts. So it will literally take us about 5-10 minutes to realize, hey, this is legit, or I'm
Yeah.
probably not gonna dive into this at all.
Well, my
So
biggest question is going to be: is this Uniswap? And they already mentioned that, right? So if it's Uniswap, let's just say, we're advisors on Rothium decks. We're going to advise them to make it look like Uniswap, right? Just because
yeah,
everyone's used to it, there's no reason to change anything. It already works great. The UI is going to be very simple and sleek, and I think they should really do that as well. And I think they will.
yeah, and humans love, habit, right? And so like that's
Exactly.
why I think a lot of times when something is different, and they've been doing something one way for a certain period of time, they don't like it. They don't like
Yeah.
change, right? And so I say they, but we're humans. you know, but anyways, yeah, so that's gonna be exciting, dude. Like I think this has been a pretty good
Yeah.
little conversation here because
Fun.
I mean, there are moments to where like I feel like you already have like a negative connotation towards something
Yeah.
because
100%.
we've kind of hit on it, and you're just kind of like, I don't want to waste my time with that. And for me, like I have a little bit of that, but like also I have like the optimistic side, and maybe that also could be, I need to balance that a little bit better. But I think having that optimistic side will be something like giving Lambda a shot here on the swap, which we're both open to do.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I don't like the fact that it's another Meta Protocol token because now we have like so many. But at the same time, if the swap is legit and it works fine, I think that they can definitely get ahead of some other competing Meta Protocols.
And all the meta protocols, they all have these. It's kind of like Runes is Thanos, right? And all the meta protocols are the Avengers, and they're all gearing up to try to defeat Thanos, and they're not going to be able to do it. Thanos just
What
has
do you
that
think?
that gauntlet.
Do you think a swap could do it? Like a legit swap?
No, I honestly think that all these meta protocols are wasting their time. I think Runes is going to be the standard of choice.
But see, that kind of goes against like what we just talked about. Like
No,
you just said,
but
like if the swap was legit, then you'd spend 5-10 minutes, and if
no,
it's legit,
no,
then
I would. I'm still saying that there's going to be some stuff that I still want to get into, and the swap is needed. Like that's my only point. Do I know who the winner's going to be? Yes. Do I think these are all going to go to zero? No. You know what I
okay.
mean?
So basically, there will be some use case, especially with the swap, if it's functional.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
gotcha. Awesome. All right. Yeah, that was a good one, man. All right. So dang, we're almost to that hour already, but
Yeah,
I want
that's
to get
fun.
this. Yeah, I want to get this in right here. Rune
Yeah.
strategy, because I want to make sure we cover this. So
Thanos.
everybody knows with all the pre runes protocol mining ordinals that have been coming out, people are just really excited about runes. We've been excited about runes since it was, I would say, about a month after it was announced, because there was some
Yeah.
kind of I hate you Casey type of moments. But now it's kind of, the past like several months, people have been getting these ordinals and
Yeah.
they're trying to mine them with them. But really, you and I, when we strategize and talk about like our strategies for different things with our members
Hmm.
videos, the rune strategy comes up a lot. And
It does.
I'll let you kind of go first to lead into that, and then I'll talk a little bit about mine. We're not gonna give everything away because that is for the
Yeah.
members. But go ahead. Let's see what you got here.
So I did something last night. I really wanted an OMB, right? I was like, I really want an OMB, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, OMB can do what, like a 5x, 10x, maybe, right? Is that a half Bitcoin, right? A little under a half Bitcoin right now. 10x would be 5 Bitcoin. I think that's very fair value, right? At a
Yeah,
peak, right? So I'm thinking in my head, and like we
5 is
said
pretty
multiple
high, but
times,
yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we talked multiple times, and in my head, I'm like, why am I putting half a Bitcoin at risk for a 10x, right? So, and I really sat and I really thought, I have a Node Monkey, I have a Quantum Cat, and I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm like, again, I'm making these are all risky plays, right? Because we don't know what could happen, and I'm making these heavy risks, but they're not 100x plays. So I'm sitting there. I just bought the OMB, and I'm looking at it. I'm happy. You know what I mean? It was the one I wanted. It was awesome looking, and I'm sitting there like, did I make the right decision? Because I think every time you buy something, no matter what it is in life, I think you should at least sit for a second with it after that purchase and say, was that an efficient purchase? Was that purchase something that makes me happy? Right? Was that purchase something that potentially could make me happy in the future. So when I was answering those questions for myself, yes, that purchase made me happy, but will I miss opportunities on runes because I have too much invested in this project? And will I get dumped on by people who got this a lot cheaper, who want to get Bitcoin and ready for runes, right? We're a month out from runes. We're about 28 days. And I feel like it might be a good strategy to start piling up Bitcoin today rather than doing it in a few weeks, right?
Yeah.
So and then potentially, I bought this thing for 0.42. Do I really want to sell it for 0.35, or do I want to just kind of get out now? Is this purchase still something that will make me happy around runes time? And I kind of had a pivot in my thinking, and I kind of regretted buying it, right? So and now I'm just I want to sit on it for a little bit more. But I think my strategy is going to be, I'm going to sell absolutely everything besides what I have in the Merlin seal.
Don't sell your house.
Well, I might sell my house, sell my car. I'm just kidding. And so I might sell all my JPEGs,
Yeah.
all my ordinals to kind of sit in Bitcoin, and that way I will have the opportunity. Because you think about how much opportunity you kind of missed by not putting more in Traverse, not putting more in Ghosty Cash at 4 cents, not putting more into Ordi at $2, not putting more into Sats in the pennies. You know what I mean? If you had that capital on the sideline, you would feel more intrigued to do that, and the X's would have been insane. And what if we get that same opportunity again with runes? Right? I think we do. And I don't have enough on the sideline to get into 10 plays where 4 of them go parabolic.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that liquidating all of your cartoon pictures is a little bit much for me. There's a couple that I think I just have to hold on to, I feel like, but definitely the idea of stacking Bitcoin to a certain amount is a part of my strategy. So liquidating some of those JPEGs is something that I'm trying to do. Liquidating some of the BRC20s that are still have any type of momentum, which the ones that really have momentum right now are the ones on Merlin chain because they're being given utility and stuff. But there are a couple here too. But I think the biggest thing for me is I don't want to. I missed Ordi, right?
Yeah.
I missed Ordi, and I actually missed Adam with the ARC20s because we were just so spread out everywhere during that time. And I don't want to miss Rune Zero. And I think getting Rune Zero is going to be difficult as it is. I don't think there's going to be OTC. If there is OTC, then I would say Casey is full of shit because then he's kind of that goes against everything that he's trying to do for this. But there probably will be some OTC somewhere, I'm sure. Anyways, the thing is that I'm willing to pay a little bit higher on secondary once Rune Zero gets released, right? Because imagine, let's say it's a 21 million supply, and Rune X by the time I get it on secondary is 60 cents. I'll freaking grab a lot at 60 cents because I know that Rune Zero is the Ordi of runes, right? And so it's going to be already pre-hard coded in and all this stuff. And from what we're hearing there's a lot of money on the sidelines in the Middle East and parts of Asia that are waiting for runes, and they're willing to bring in billions of dollars of liquidity in. And so to me, I just feel like that's an opportunity I cannot miss. Imagine getting in at Ordi at 10 cents. And it went all the way to $95, and you throw 10K at it. That was a huge play, right? So that's my strategy. Up until there's some other things I'm doing in the background, but like I said, we can't give it all to you.
If you remember, we will. If you remember, we will. But
yeah, so I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I want to get 40%, if not 50% of my portfolio into Bitcoin. I'm already probably closer to 30 right now, so I want to get at least another maybe I'll go as high as 60% and kind of just wait around and for that moment. And you got to remember too is when Bitcoin skyrockets we both think it's going to, everything kind of goes down against Bitcoin but up against the dollar, and I kind of want to be ready for that as well, because I do think that we're going to go parabolic going into the runes having. Everything's kind of lining up to kind of get as much Bitcoin as you possibly can for now. And that this is not financial advice, guys. It's just me thinking out loud, something that I'm not even sure that I'm going to do yet. It's just something that a thought process that was going in my head last night. But
yeah, no, dude, I completely agree with that. Like, I feel like, you know, that is what everybody's kind of anticipating, and you saw it with, like, here it is, Merlin chain. We're talking about Merlin chain for I think like the second time this episode only. But like, you know, Merlin chain came out yesterday and talked about like Rufi being the first runes token that's going to be launched on Merlin chain, right? So they're prepping, and you know, I know there's some projects, I won't put any names out there, that are going to be focused on runes trading on Merlin, right? And so people are getting ready for runes, and is it kind of scary because people have bags in BRC20? I have some bags, a little bit, but not. I'm not. You know, I feel like there's a team that that's big enough and has enough influence that's behind BRC20s, like Domo and Layer One Foundation and Best in Slot and Unisat. You know, they have enough foundation to keep that going. But I think a lot of liquidity goes to the Runes protocol first, and then after that first couple months of like just going parabolic, I think that's whenever, you know, the other protocols maybe start to enjoy a little bit of liquidity flow back.
Yeah, you kind of saw that with runestones, right? You saw like before runestones, everything was taking a hit, and then after runestones, a lot of liquidity entered the space, right? A lot of money that was on the sideline entered to buy the runestones, and the people who got airdropped the runestones went and sold that and bought node monkeys and bought frogs and not frogs, sorry, and bought everything but frogs. It seems like, but yeah, you really saw a skyrocket in ordinals once the big ordinal runestone really hit the market, and you could see the same thing with runes. You might see a lot of money go back into BRC20s. You just don't know. I don't know. I want to be prepared in all aspects.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree, dude. And we hit that hour. So guys, make sure you're putting your questions in there. In the chat here. We're about to move over to the after hour and get to the Q&A.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and jump right in here. I just saw the very first here. I got the questions. Okay. I got the questions here. There's a couple of wait, hold on. This is kind of a question from Danny. Shizzy was wrong? F it, sell everything. And then, but he followed up and says he says he doesn't fade you anymore, though. Danny Boy, shout out to Danny Boy with that. All right, so here's a good question. How many tokens is the supply for Unicross? So you actually talked about this, right? Like, are there? I thought they weren't doing a fungible token for the Unicross protocol.
I think he's just mistaken. I think he's thinking that he's asking about how many passes there are.
Gotcha. Okay. So in terms of passes, how many are there? 1,000?
1,000, yeah.
Okay, so Mike's World, if you are talking about the actual Ordinals pass that Unicross offers, then there's 1,000 that you can see on Magic Eden. If you're talking about a fungible token, that they're not releasing one actually, and I think Shizzy got that confirmed from the team.
We'll actually have him on tomorrow at so that video will be out tomorrow night, and we'll ask him all about that, if there's a TGE or not. So I'm leaning towards there won't be, or they're not having any plans at this moment, but who knows?
Yeah. And for those that don't know what a TGE is, it's a token generation event. Yeah. Token generation event. Okay. All right. TKO 401, another member asked, so are they switching from Launchpad to DEX?
Yes.
Well, no. This is Basepad, I think. Yeah. So they're not owning the Lamb swap, are they? I thought that was Lambda. Okay.
No.
So I thought they were just doing because they also announced that they're doing Launchpad on the swap as well. So
yeah, but the Basepad is now Lambda swap, right? So I mean they can do that there, but they're pivoting to a full DEX. I mean they can still do Launchpad there, but they're no longer launching anything on tap like the original plan.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I guess they're going to be doing. Yeah, I guess they're going to be a part of the swap, maybe. Well, I'll follow up with the base pad guys and see if they're doing the decks as well. I
Might be
know
a good
for
idea to have
sure.
them come back on the show and kind
Yeah,
of
because
really get all the
it's a
information.
100% because like their branding and everything is switched up now.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Yeah, so I think he was thinking about
Okay.
he said, "Oh, okay, I thought it was a 1 trillion for the." So he was talking about the fungible token. Mike, yeah, as of right now, no fungible token for Unicross, but we will follow up with that and get that information. Here's one from Yashir. He's also a member of our community. Any update from French Montana's music mint on BRC 420? Is it just left to be there as is, or do they have a plan for it? So I'll go ahead and address this. So we've mentioned this in the Discord that like obviously that BRC 420 mint didn't go as planned. And as of right now, we are not hearing any type of like strategy to rectify it because it's kind of like stuck in a hard place as the secondary. It's kind of like the OMB mint if you think about it. Right now, OMB is having really hard time minting out because their public mint sale was 0.99 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And they're selling on secondary right now for 0.42. And so no one's going to mint out if that secondary price is at 0.42. And that's kind of what happened with BRC 420. But we will definitely update you. If we get any information, I would say follow the Mac and Cheese Twitter account for any updates on that.
Yeah, and we're hearing rumors potentially if you do have one of these or you're wild or something that you might get some kind of pass or something. I don't know what that's about. We're no longer advising them on that type of stuff. We're still with them in a different role now. So but that is a good question for that team, and you might want to message them through a DM.
For sure. All right. There was one right after that. Sorry, I had to pull that banner title down. Get back to these questions. Someone asked about the frogs, and I want to get to that one next. Oh, here it is. Stacito says, What happened to the frogs? What happened to the Bitcoin frogs? Do you want to start that off, or do you want me to?
You can take this one. I
Okay.
don't want to.
Yeah. So I'm still a strong believer in the frogs because I feel like their community is still strong. I mean, you see it on the post, the ribbits. To me, they're very, very much like BRC 20s to where like people will start to fade BRC 20s as a protocol, and then all of a sudden they'll come back with a vengeance, right? And then they'll just like these tokens will start to moon really hard. It's happened like 3 separate times. Right now, it's kind of in BRC 20s like in a lull, and frogs are kind of like that too. There's a lot of just attention on these other projects. I feel like a lot of the ETH guys came over with the puppets, and let's be real, the puppet derivatives are just like they're so oversaturated in my opinion. But because like the puppet community is so crazy and strong, people buy into them, and then the derivatives typically die off. The original puppets still go strong, but in my conviction, I feel like the frogs will have their day again. I don't know when that is. I don't know if it's going to be in like 6 months after like the collectors start to come out and people have made some money from Bitcoin jumping to 100K, or if it's going to be the next time the next rotation, like once the Ordinal collections kind of die down a bit, and then it goes to fungibles with runes, and the people that make the profits with runes come back in and prop frogs up. The one thing I will say is like we're going to NYC to meet up with a lot of frogs. There's a lot of frogs community on Twitter timeline that people see, and there's some early fund groups and fund strategy groups that kind of propped up frogs in November, and I'm sure that they're still interested in the Bitcoin frogs. I think for me, I'm not going to go too much further into frogs in terms of like my portfolio, but I might pick 1 or 2 up just because they're so cheap at this point. They're like at 0.09896. I mean, you're looking at $6,000, and they got all the way up to like 4-1 in November. They're a staple. The first 10K collection that was really hot here. And that's all I'll say about that. Any words from your side?
No, for me, as frogs is something that I'll probably pick up later in the collection part of the cycle. And probably be a lot higher price, but I feel like I'm going to be able to get higher X's in other things. But yeah, I'm definitely bullish on the frogs. I think they're a long-term play. Do I see 20x out of them? Really pushing it? Do I see a 10x? Yeah, I can see them hitting the Bitcoin.
Yeah, I think it's a fair assessment there. All right, Cecito, hopefully that answers your question there. All right, Icha Toshi, love the name. All right, this is a question for you. Shizzy, what are your price expectations for runestones now? Do you feel a 0.1 coming in the next week? Wow, next week. So double from now.
I see about 3 days before the drop, it can hit like 1.12, between 1.12 and then 0.15. And I say that just because I think the hype will be real, and that market cap will put it as the highest ordinal market cap ever, right? Ever.
Yep.
So, shout out Danny boy. Thank you,
Let's
sir.
go.
Wham, bam. Thank you, man. We appreciate you, buddy. Oh, Danny's always with the support, man. But where was I before I was so amazingly interrupted? Oh god.
Do you feel
Yeah, I
like
see.
In the coming week, do you feel like 0.1 is possible?
No. No. I think we see a dip down to back down to 0.4, 0.35. It's a lot of people with a lot of runestones right now who are just I think that they're trying to get into other projects. I don't know. I definitely see between 1.15 and 1.12 as the all-time high for this before they go to 0, and then the token is released. I
Yeah.
won't say 0, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
90% drop.
I mean, I feel like the buy pressure is so like exhausted at this point. I mean, you look at the 7-day buy pressure, and you're looking at 867.5. Here, I'll share my screen. 867.5 Bitcoin, guys. That's just nuts when you think
Yeah.
about it in a week, right? I know like Node Monkeys has done some crazy numbers too in the past, but there has to be a little bit of cool off. I would imagine.
Yeah.
I would
agree.
imagine, but I mean, god dang, look at this. The 30-day with Node Monkeys 1.8 thousand. But like Runestones has done 867
Yeah.
100 and only I don't even think it's been a full week, but we'll see.
You know what would be cool if Leonidas forced you to burn your runestone to get the airdrop?
That would be cool, because then
Wouldn't it?
that does become more of like a enticing collectible, right?
It does. And then it's like, do I want the airdrop or do I want to hold my rune? And then the rune supply can technically go down to like 10K.
Yeah, that's true. So like you have to send like the runestone to like an address,
Satoshi's wallet.
and when you something that they can track somehow. You can track Satoshi's wallet, I know, but like it would probably be a pain in the butt to unless you have some sort of like, what I'm saying? Like if you have like the wallet, I don't know. But anyway,
No, but you can just go to Satoshi's wallet, and then you can just grab every
all the
wallet address
runestones,
that send it there, and then
Yeah.
whatever and then every address gets a certain amount of how many runestones. If 30 addresses have the same address, then that person gets 30 times whatever the token is. You know what I mean? So
For sure.
I thought that was a really good idea.
Yeah. Man, that was a good one. That was a good question. Good conversation back and forth with that. Let's see. Crypto noob, want to be strategic with some fleshy dry fleshy.
I don't get a point of your end. So.
Okay. Want to be strategic with some freshly dry powder. Get into Merlin Swap IDO or wait for runes to drop. Ooh, that's a tough one, man. What's the price of the Merlin Swap IDO, by the way? Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't. I think it's. I don't know.
Yeah, we can look into that later. But regardless,
that's not for about 4 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can only do 5K. I think the max per
Okay.
wallet. So you could do 10 wallets though.
What do you think though? This is this is a good question. This is probably the best question so far, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm doing it. I'm maxing out on multiple wallets
For the IDO.
The MP. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the biggest thing is that you got to realize that you have an opportunity here for something similar to price
Uniswap.
action to Uniswap, right? But we just went over that, right? So you're talking about an 8x probably is what you're gonna get close to, like an 8 to like 12x. But it's a solid 8 to 12x. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not something that you're probably gonna have to guess about too much because Merlin Swap has an opportunity, in my opinion, to be the premier swap for Bitcoin sidechain and layer twos outside of Stacks, right? Stacks is probably not going to let it come in there and become king. But like you're talking about there's a lot of Chinese side chains and layer twos that are going to be here for Bitcoin. And those Merlin Swap could definitely be that premier, Uniswap that is on multiple chains or
I agree.
side chains. So but you can't go. I feel like you can't really go wrong here, though, right? Like if you were to put in the runes, then you're probably sitting really nice too. But to me, it's all about rune 0. And I mean, unless there's more information that comes out, to be strategic about the other numbers, because it goes from rune 0 to 10, right? Or
11.
9.
9.
Okay.
9. Yeah, there's 10 altogether. Yeah, 9. That's what it was.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah,
man, we love the questions, guys. You guys are putting them.
Questions are amazing today.
Yeah. We'll keep them going, man. So it says, I'm curious about how runes work on Merlin chain. Oh, this is a good one.
Love this.
Bull case is people move their runes to Merlin chain and use their decks for faster, cheaper transaction and get more volume there.
Yep.
Do you want to start with this, or do you want me to open up the can?
Oh, open that can up, bro. I'll let you take it.
All right. So the way that runes is going to work for Merlin chain is the way that BRC20s work for Merlin chain right now. So there's going to be an MPC wallet that all the runes tokens are the whitelisted runes tokens will go to. And then that will automatically generate the contract on Merlin side for the runes token. Right. So why is this like, where's the advantage come from? Right. So yes, fees will be cheaper to use a DEX on the Merlin chain versus Bitcoin's native layer, especially if people are going nuts with it, right? I'm sure they're going to try to figure out a mechanism to make it not super crazy and clog the mempool, but regardless, it will be cheaper. I could bet money on that. So that's number one. Number two is you're going to be able to trade early, guys, because of the mechanism of sending a runes token to the MPC wallet. They could do like RuFi's launching soon on Unicross, right? So you could actually launch it now and start trading over there, because it's going to be a total supply that matches on the rune side. Yes, it's not going to deploy yet here on native layer, but that's already going to be set up to where that does occur, and it's already going to be delegated and all that stuff. So it doesn't matter as long as supply matches on Merlin chain and supply matches on Bitcoin's native layer. You can take once the runes protocol is launched, the tokens in the MPC wallet, you could take 1,000 of these runes token, bridge them over to Bitcoin. Those get burnt on this side, and then or like held locked on this side, and then you'll get them on the Bitcoin side. So that's the advantage, right? You can do stuff early for them, so the prices really can kind of pump in the beginning. That's my guess. I don't have all the intricacies. We're going to talk to Mr. J tomorrow about it, but that's my best guess on it. So don't say that Yago B said for sure this is how it's going to go. That's my best guess on it. Now you go ahead.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think my plan for runes is I'm going to try to do everything through Unicross. When I mint or anything, it's going to be through Unicross because the fees are going to be way cheaper, like insanely cheaper. And what happens is that they just do it on their side, right? However their mechanism works. But I'm going to try to mint on the Unicross side on Magic Eden. I mean, on Merlin Swap or Merlin chain.
Yeah. And guys, make sure you pay tune in to that
it's going to be good
pre-record or the recording tomorrow with Mr. J and Unicross, because you guys are going to figure out like how everything works from a DApp level, because what you're going to be able to do from Merlin chain is deploy and mint Bitcoin native layer 1 assets, right? And then that supply gets automatically sent to the MPC wallet, and then you're going to be able to do stuff on Merlin chain, right? So make sure that you're watching that tomorrow, because it's going to be a really good educational piece, in my opinion. But yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. I love that question because I was wondering that when I first heard it myself. Here's another one that's follow-up question from Ichitoshi, another member. Thank you for being a member. Can he not cut the mint supply on BRC 420? Unfortunately, no, you can't. Once that total supply is deployed on BRC 420, it's deployed. The price, everything. Actually, Shizzy ran into this problem before because me and him launched Resident Yagobi and Resident Shizzy, and he forgot to put an additional 0 into the price. And Resident Shizzy's mint price was like $36, $34, and Resident Yagobi's mint price was $3.4, which we were both planning on doing. And it really actually, stifled our launch for that.
I don't think it did. I don't think it would have did good regardless. I just think
I think, well, here's where it stifled it. I'll tell you. It stifled it in terms of confidence of telling the community about it, right? For example, like us kind of like saying, hey, look, guys, go out there, mint this, go, because, and that's where I think, well, I mean,
I disagree because people like people don't care about art. They don't care about avatars. There was no DeFi stuff behind it. There was no coins.
But people care about price though. And the fact that the prices were so off from day to night, it's like we weren't even pushing that at all, dude. Like I didn't want to because like I didn't want
I don't think it was the price though. I think the supply was the problem. We went way too high with supply. 3,000 is
I think well, like
then yours should have sold out then.
No, it shouldn't have, because I'll tell you why. Because like I wasn't even trying to like chill it, really, like say, hey,
we shouldn't be showing it. This is our name and likeness. We should.
Well, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that like you're not trying to like promote it at all, like because you messed up, you messed like the whole project up.
I disagree. I don't think it would have done. I thought it would have done crap regardless. I just think that like the same thing with the music thing, and I think that we didn't see that. China does not give a crap about art or music or avatars. They don't care about any of that. They like coins. And
but your argument's like dead in the water with like Bitoshi's avatar. And it's dead in the water.
He only did 420. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
the supply was bad.
But his price is way higher than ours, right?
Because it's rare. It's very rare. That I think that was where we messed up. It wasn't the price. I think it was the rarity.
We weren't on the same page, is what I'm trying to say. Dude.
I don't think that even matters. I'm just saying our supply.
We just have to agree to disagree on that.
I just think our mistake was the supply. I think 100%. It didn't.
Well, I think our mistake was that you messed up.
I gotta go supply. You gotta go price. All right, that's fair.
Yeah, so where are we on the questions here? Yeah, that's a good question though. That definitely brought something up that maybe Shizzy and I was holding in. No, that's what we do. We talk it out, live on our show. All right, so let's see, where are we now? I think that was it. Right here. This is the last question. Windy Yam. What's your opinion on the big play for the bull run? Like, what's your big play for the bull run?
Merlin, the Merlin coin, and I think because I'm getting it for free. You know what I mean? I'm staking over there and I'm earning the coin for free, and I think that'll be my biggest winner by far. It's already looking like it's going to be very, very huge to my portfolio. It's looking like it's going to be closer to like 20% of my portfolio, the amount of Merlin token I'm getting, and to me, that is my biggest winner because I'm getting it absolutely free. Yeah.
I think that's like it's going to be close between Merlin chain and runes for me. It's like environment and ecosystem. It's like Merlin's obviously got a huge one. But if I were to pick like two tokens or two different things, it would be Rune Zero and Merle. Those two are going to be the two big players in my opinion. But we'll kind of have to see how that plays out.
Yeah, it could also be the MP token. Getting in that pre-sale like they're doing on through Merlin Starter the 25th could be big too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, it's not a pre-sale. What do they call it?
What, for Merlin Starter?
Yeah, a launch.
IDO.
No, IDO.
It's not IDO.
IDO. Yeah.
Yep.
There's a question for you.
No, they're sleeping right now, kind of deep sleep. And
the question for everyone listening is, are BRC20s dead?
Yeah, I think that they're just like they're a little comatose right now, and you know, they I think they wake up after Runes gets, you know, it's we're gonna find out for sure if they're dead or not in the next 2 months, or like once Runes protocol goes, and then like 2 months after that. If like investments and stuff start to flow out of these projects that are already like there's a lot of investments already in them, then I think it's going to be a scary time for BRC20 holders. But if not, which I like honestly don't see that happening because there's been like probably $1 billion invested into the infrastructure. I don't know. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, just because there was so much hype with Ordi and Sats and all these things. But we'll see what happens after the Runes protocol launches.
Yeah, for me, I think they die for a little while. I think they die completely where the volume's like less than 10% of what it was during the high. But I think they come back in September. I think the when people start getting that collecting phase, I think a lot of these are going to be seen as like I guess for lack of better words, but like runes, like kind of like like physical items type of thing, like where you want to collect them and save them because that's all there ever will be. There's no more tickers and stuff like that for the fours
Oh
anymore. But then
yeah,
they're adding the fives and stuff like that. But I think the fours are going to be sought after as collectors items.
yeah, for sure. That's a good perspective because um yeah, I mean, if Runes takes like majority of the volume, they definitely could be looked at as like almost kind of like those collector coins and
Legacy
tangible,
tokens.
yeah,
Yep.
like tangible currency, right? You're
Yep.
talking about like the Susan B. Anthony rare ones, or like
Exactly.
those rare $50 and stuff like that. But we'll have to see, really, because like there was people on from the Layer One Foundation that was on the Ordinal show with Domo, and they said that like they were talking to Trevor like 6 months ago and saying, what if BRC20 could get to this point of, having infrastructure and stuff like that? And one of the guys said, hey, Trevor, like we are at that point right now. And so that's a big, plus for BRC20, but we got to really see, how that happens.
Yeah, I mean, until BRC20 can get rid of the transfer inscription, that's the only way it's going to succeed. You can't match the power of runes with that UTXO based trading.
Yeah, I think on the native layer, I think you're absolutely right about that. The only thing is like side chains and
Yeah,
layer twos could have like BRC20 like be a highlighted BRC20 chain.
I agree.
But natively, I think that like the UTXOs just went out because of the fact that you don't have to do an additional transfer,
Yeah.
transaction. And so that's such a big deal. But like, I don't know, Xverse was able to figure out how to do, roll it, and so like you can send BRC20s to people with Xverse wallet without doing 2 transactions. I think they do it within or something internally or
It's still
something.
the same thing. Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
the transaction fee is super high because it's 2 transactions instead of 1.
Yep. So awesome. Awesome. Do we have anything else?
I think that's it, man. We got that hour and a half period.
Yeah.
Anything?
Well, there's one last one
Okay.
from Vex. So I want to answer this because it says there were high hopes for atomicals, not only from you. Why didn't they come true? Didn't you succeed in your
Can I
opinion?
answer?
Yeah, go
Can I
ahead.
answer? There's no builders. There's absolutely no builders. It's all meme coins. We were expecting to have a lot of builders come over there. Zero came. I put multiple tweets out on Twitter. If you're a builder on Atomicals, please reach out to us. We want to showcase you. Not one builder reached out to me about building on Atomicals. Not one, dude. Not one. So that is why it is all memes, and there's like 500 popping up every day because of this, because of the mining or whatever that is. It's, I don't know. There's no builders. You show me a builder, I will show you not Atomicals.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think that like the biggest difference between these two, because there's no builders on Runes yet, but it hasn't been released.
There
But
is though.
what?
Runes Pro, like there's Rune
Oh well, I
all
mean,
these token R6 runes,
atomic
like like
atomicals
there's,
market.
well, that's just the only one though. There's like 9 other, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's a few, like, but I'm just
Stat
saying,
that.
like, but like there's all these that are building in the background, and we don't even know what they're even going to do, and they're probably going to have
Yeah,
a runes token.
I'm actually,
Atomicals market don't even have a
yeah.
token.
Why didn't they launch a token? That
was a
would have been
mistake.
like, you know what I'm
It would have been
saying?
number one
But
token. I would have bought it.
yeah, yeah, you're right there. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with runes. I think that they'll have, you know, I think that they'll have some builders once runes is launched. But yeah, guys, we appreciate the Q&A was great. It got me and
Fun.
Shizzy kind of back and forth a little heated.
I love it. It's
Yeah,
fun.
I mean, it is fun to kind of have that banter back and forth from you guys. But yeah, I think that will wrap up the show.
And that's kind of my thing is like I think I'm right all the time, so it is nice to hear the counter argument a lot. So it gets me thinking. It is there's no animosity on the show. We're
Yeah,
throwing ideas back at
100%.
each other, and we're kind of exchanging because we both believe in a certain way. But it's really nice to get that counter argument, because a lot of times you don't get that, and then you end up making huge mistakes because there wasn't anyone in your ear saying no, that's not right. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
we appreciate you guys watching. We had I think our 260 people in here was our max today. We appreciate you guys, and we'll be back tomorrow. And then we have obviously we have Mr. J on the show tomorrow, so that video will probably be out Saturday, depending on how fast we get that done. But guys, please hit the like, please hit the sub. If you're thinking about joining the members, join it. You get a lot more Shizzy and Yagobi when you do that. Check out our website, ordinalrevolution.com. If you're going to Bitcoin Nashville, there's a 20% off thing there. You'd be stupid not to use it. Use that, and it supports the show. Also, if you're going to Bitcoin Nashville, have Ordinals gear. If it isn't us, it should be someone else, but we have some of the sickest Ordinals gear that you can ask for all on the website, ordinalrevolution.com/store. Did I miss anything?
No, I think that's it, man. Great show today, and we will see you guys again, same place, same time tomorrow.
See you guys.
Peace.